is the way it is in the MLS, but you guys don't get much time to mentally get a break and rest and relax. How tough is that to be back on the field already? Obviously, it's a good thing. That means you made the finals if you don't have much time to rest.
I was going to turn that into a positive.
Yeah.
So the lack of rest certainly is an issue. I would say that it's equal parts mental and physical, because the guys have been going for 2 years straight with not a lot of rest, but we'd certainly prefer that than the flip side, which is getting 2 months off and, not doing well.
Brian, with that, what are your metrics early on in the season? You got to bring guys in slow, but yet again, you want to win right away.
Yeah, Champions League is coming up fast, and it's certainly a very, very important competition. We want to do extremely well in that competition. So the balance is just assessing where they're at, and then a lot of guys will be on individual programs, and we'll get down to the nitty-gritty, and Nico's different than Roman and Chad and Ozzy than Gustav, and obviously Christian and Jordan are getting a jump start with the national team. But we'll assess them all as individuals, and then try and collectively as a group get them ready for Champions League.
Is that training program different than last year, just because of Champions League?
I would say that each year we're getting better at what we do. We always want to try and raise the bar, so there'll be little subtle differences in how we train and why we train. Certainly, we have to tuck in a lot of factors, and we'll continue to evolve as a staff, and just try and do a better job.
You've had a chance to kind of, knowing you hardworking, reevaluate what happened, styles and everything else. What are some of those things that jump out to you in a positive? Because if I ask you negative, you're not going to say it. So what are those things that you did well?
Last year you're talking about?
Yeah, as you go into this season, after your off-season evaluation, tape, personnel, all that.
Well, I like the spirit of the club, the effort of the players. I think that has always been a constant of Seattle teams. I think our play at times last year was a little too erratic for our liking. We like to be a little bit more consistent. We don't want to start off the season in another slow period. I think the positives are everybody's coming back and everybody's relatively healthy, and we're going to try and get after it real quick.
Saw you have animated conversations with Preki during just his first session. What does he bring, and what are you looking to get from him during either training and or games?
He's going to be great. I mean, he and I have a really long history of, playing against each other, with each other, and he's pretty fiery. I mean, you guys will think this is kind of odd, but he fancies himself as a real defensive-minded coach, and I always tell him, no, just stick to what you do best, which is score goals and make assists. And so we go back and forth. It's pretty hilarious at times, but he's a really, really talented coach. He has some really good ideas, and I think that's going to help the club.
How would you describe your relationship with him since your playing days? I mean, have you stayed close?
Always kept in touch. I mean, I enjoyed a couple days in the USL days when we were able to beat Chivas, and there was an Open Cup game down here that we won when Guzan was in goal. I mean, he had all his guys, so I remind him of that all the time.
Coach, the team's off the Chula Vista today. What are you hoping to get out of that camp?
Good base level of fitness, and we will have one game at the end of that camp, so we'll get, again, that's the assessment part of it. So a good base of fitness, a game, and when we come back and go to Tucson, that's when we'll kind of ramp up all the tactics and how we're going to play, why we're going to play, and get more games in on the Tucson phase.
Obviously, you haven't been able to see the players, but you get Waylon Francis. He's going to be battling for a position. Can you talk about him and the importance of competitions in different positions?
Yeah. That's always the tricky part of MLS, right? I mean, are the rosters deep enough to have true competition? Is the team kind of settled by the end of the year? I think that's changing. I think our league is changing. We're going to have better players, and we're going to have competition. And I would group Waylon in that class. I mean, he is going to make sure that he pushes Nuhu to go and that's my phone. That's not good. That's not good. No, it's not me.
Could be me.
Chris Egan. Wow. Ah.
Wow. Just
Okay.
Yep.
Winter Olympics.
So Nuhu and Whalen's going to be a good battle because look, Nuhu's super talented, right? But if you watch Whalen's career and watch what he did in Columbus, he had a couple of really good years there, and so that's going to be interesting to watch.
He's a player that almost has 100 games in the MLS at his age. Does that help him in fact of experience?
Sure. It helps him that he's technically clean. He's good on the overlap. His timing is good there. He seems like a real nice kid, and he wants a new start because at Columbus his time was gone. They had signed a player to replace him, so he's anxious and eager to play.
Jordan's obviously not here right now, but what do you kind of see his position as at this point? Is it more as a Jordan Morris?
Jordan.
Do you see him more as an outside mid or a forward, or is that not something
we're going to try and settle that for his benefit? Obviously, when you have multiple positions, it helps coaches sometimes because we can plug them in different spots. But I think for Jordan's development, I want to try and fine-tune that a little bit. Now, this is, again, first day of preseason. That's going to be a work in progress. But in order to help Jordan get back to where he was in his rookie year, when he played pretty consistently up front, I know when Nelson came on in the playoff run, we moved him out to left mid or left wing, whatever you want to call it. So those conversations will be taking place. But he and Will have to challenge for minutes as a striker to start with, and then how we set up the team is certainly going to be interesting because we want to try and have a secondary formation that we feel comfortable with. So our standard 4-2-3-1, nothing's wrong with that, it works, but do we have a secondary formation where we might play two forwards up front?
Same question, obviously, for Jordan's homeboy, Christian Roldan. I mean, everything you just talked about, trying to find a spot for him, that'd be the same?
Well, Christian's very versatile, yes. Christian can play multiple positions in midfield. I don't think Christian's been moved around, though, as much as Jordan. I mean, that difference between up here and out here is a little more challenging than Christian playing in the middle of the field. That'd be my opinion.
I think he play a little defensive. You're not going to start him at the fullback, obviously.
He can certainly play as a number 6. He can play as an 8. I mean, we played him the one game against Vancouver as a 10 when Clint was a false 9. I mean, he's certainly got that range of positions. But and I hate labeling people with a number, but he's kind of an 8. He can do many things. He can score goals. He can defend. To me, he's just a great kid.
What would you look for him in his maturity? I mean, like you said, he's versatile, number 1 through 10, but what are you looking for him
The
now?
only thing that Christian needs is just clean up his technical piece of his game. That's the only thing. He's got the physical attributes, he's got the smarts, he's got the mental toughness. If he cleans up his technical piece, he'll be in the World Cup squad when we qualify again. But he'll be in the national team picture for years to come, and hopefully a important piece for us for years to come as well.
Just trying something new. That was a phone-in question. I have people calling in now.
I'm so happy that wasn't my
It's
fault.
a new thing. Yeah, it's phone-in during interviews. The MLS Cup. I know you're a very positive guy. How do you, as a coach, as a staff, do you use it as motivation? Do you not even use it? Do you flush it? How do you take that loss and use it for the positive?
We're going to use it as motivation. I'll speak for myself and maybe a little bit with the staff. We were not happy. We went over, how we prepared the team, why we prepared the team, all of the things that we could to figure out why we had such a poor performance. And so that falls on my shoulders. I have to make sure that we reflect and we learn and get better so that the next time we're presented that type of situation, we can help them with solutions. So that was a tough loss. It still hurts, and we will definitely use that as motivation for next season.